What are we at? 56? 58?
56. Is it 58? I put 56 in my title, so I hope it's 56.
56 it is.
All right.
56-ish.
Ish.
56. Probably.
All right, let's do this, man. Let's do it. Now,
Hi, friends. Welcome to the Bloody and Sutty Show. My name is Bloody the Elf, and this over here is my hetero life partner,
SuttySmash.
And welcome to the show for jackasses, by jackasses, with jackasses, fully jackassery. Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, welcome in.
Got a lot going on. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
We do. We have a lot to talk about.
Sutty almost perished, and I wouldn't let him tell me the story. I wanted to hear it live.
No, legitimately, almost
like no
died.
bullshit.
No bullshit. A punt hair away from death today.
And then, yeah,
and then we're gonna do round 2 of Disturbia and Suburbia. We're gonna talk about.
That'd be actually round 3.
Is it? Oh fuck! It is. All right, well, let me
We're at
update
the tail end.
We are. Look at that.
This is the final installment of Disturbia and Suburbia.
It is. Oh, so I don't have to watch that other one now? That's good.
I think it might make an appearance, though.
Oh, damn it. Okay. Getting through this one was fun enough. So we're going to talk about
I can't wait to talk to you. A Serbian film. I can't wait to discuss this with you. Because I think we're going to have different opinions on it.
Are we? You think?
Maybe. We'll see.
But anyway, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do some This Week in Dumb.
We are.
And then some Rotten Tomatoes game. Bloody has some delicious, some tasty movies lined up for me. I can feel it.
I do. It's gonna be fun. I'm not sure you've seen them all.
All right.
But I don't think it matters.
Never does. Anyway, so let's get into it. I almost died today.
Tell us what happened.
So I was installing the bidet in the guest bathroom, and the toilet seat that we got was missing a nut, and the goddamn Iranians that lived in here before. You've seen how ghetto rigged everything in my house is, right? Like everything.
It is extraordinarily ghetto rigged.
So everything on the toilet was cross-threaded, so, like all the water lines, so I could not get them off. So I had to replace the guts of the toilet.
All of it, right?
Yeah. So, because I was gonna quit and just be like, I'll deal with this tomorrow. But then the little rubber seal on the toilet lost its seal, so it was just leaking water all over the place. So it's like
later
blew a seal.
Hey.
So I was like, well, this is a thing I have to deal with right fucking now. Awesome. So I was very irritated, went to Lowe's, got all the shit that I needed. And then on my way back, I missed the turn to go to right off 31st. So I was like, oh, I'll just go to 35th and Thunderbird. So I'm sitting there in the turn lane, and then right in front of me, a head-on collision happens.
Holy shit!
So somebody was going south and turning left, and another person in a van was going north. And as they were turning left, nailed each other. And not only nailed each other, but the van that was going north hit so hard that it went like this. Like, it was on its front. Yeah, it was on its front, and it was sliding on its axle across the street. So sparks were flying out and shit.
Oh, that's so hot.
And I'm sitting there in the fucking turn lane. Like, had they collided literally 2 seconds earlier, that van would have rolled on top of me, and I would have died.
Contrary to what you guys might assume too, Sutty does not drive a Nissan Armada. Instead, he does drive a Chevy Sonic.
Well, no, I was driving Marie's 98 CRV.
Oh, then you would have been fine.
No, it would have rolled on top of me.
Yeah, no, it would roll on top of you.
I was like, holy shit. And there was a cop that was just right there. So, I mean, it was convenient. But 35th and Thunderbird, that's a real dangerous intersection, like super dangerous. But I was like, oh, man. And it sucked because I was like, I had just gotten off the phone with Marie and we were kind of frustrated with each other because I was frustrated because I had to do this fucking job. And, and she was frustrated because I was frustrated. So like, I thought about it. I was like, man, that might have been the last conversation that we ever had, was just being annoyed with each other. So I came home, hugged my family, kissed my kids, but I had a whole shit ton of adrenaline going because it was loud. And
did you get the shakes and shit?
Shit happened. Yeah, I did. And I was like, ooh, man.
Oh, like, adrenaline
overburst.
Yeah.
It was fucking
overdose.
Yeah, it was fucking intense. Like, I'm on I think an hour and a half of sleep right now from last night.
Oh, you're looking good too.
But yeah, I am pumped. But yeah, that was fucking terrifying. I was like, ooh, shit. And I feel kind of bad that I just went home to my family and didn't like get out and like, try to help. Because part of me wanted to do that, but then another part of me was like, just go home, kiss kids,
Also, I think you did the right thing. With your fucking luck, bro, you would like try and help somebody and then like they would be hurt and then blame you and then sue you.
That's fair.
Fucking don't help anybody, dude. Your debt to society is paid.
Oh man, but yeah,
I believe as we are YouTubers, we don't need to help anyone. We're fine. This is how we help. We don't help car accidents. We help car accidents happen with our in the car hilarity that we provide you via Spotify and Apple Music,
iTunes,
and
other places,
whatever else,
Google Podcasts, and
what
all
not
those places. Yeah,
and then those weird places that people go that are like Serbian, not unlike the film that we're going to be talking about today.
Speaking of segues, but yeah, I was scared.
But you're okay.
I'm okay.
How are you and Maria? Are you guys still annoyed with each other? Did you guys cry a little bit and say I'm sorry?
We're much better. I actually got a little emotional, man. Because I thought about it and I was like, man, like I said, I was like, man, that could have been the last conversation we had, and then thought about my kids.
That, did you?
No, I didn't. Not even a little bit. Put shit into perspective,
Perspective.
But yeah, we're good now. Everything's good. We're solid. Bro. You want to get into it? Let's do it.
I do.
A Serbian film.
I really do.
Well,
Disturbia in Suburbia. Let's talk about the arguable most disturbing film of all time. Did you get through it?
I did. Yeah.
Start to finish?
Well, it's
you went like half and then half?
Half and then half, yeah. Yeah. Because I started watching it last night after I was done streaming, and then I fell asleep for a little bit. And then, and I watched the rest of the day. Now here we are.
It's an interesting film, wasn't it?
That's a word for it. That's a word. It is an interesting film, yes.
Okay, so we understand it. Okay, this film is fucking horrible. All right, like it's the imagery that it portrays is absolutely over the line that it possibly could have been. Right? Like we agree on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Newborn porn. Right?
Awful.
Like we.
Awful.
Right? Like it was vulgarity for the sake of being vulgar. Like but at the same time, when you watch it, for me, when I watched it, I was able to sit by myself and watch the film and take some notes.
Hey, you don't want anybody walking in on you watching this film.
I actually told the boy, you cannot come in my room for the next 2 hours because I'm watching a movie and it's that bad that I'm even telling you can't watch it. And he was like, I'm playing Overwatch. I'm like, okay, but you have a tendency to like every 45 minutes kind of walk in and be like, what do you do? Can you make me food? Like that can't happen. Like you are not to come in.
Yeah.
Drew lines in the sand. I'm watching this. And then I had like this like moment of, let's not go straight into the film right away. Let's read about it first. So let's kind of understand what I'm watching before I watch it. Now, I didn't want to like, you did a different thing, which was like, what's going to happen in the movie? Like, I want to know what I'm getting into. Now, I just kind of wanted to know, like, who directed it? Like, what was its Rotten Tomatoes score?
I mean, it's legitimately a Serbian film. So, I mean,
it was a Serbian film made in Serbia. And then I wanted to like kind of read a little bit about the director and why. This is a reasonable movie to say, why did you make this film? Like not, what was it like? It was like, why would you make this? Is a very fair question to ask this guy, who seems kind of like a relatively normal dude, as with all the people in the film seem normal.
Yeah.
Why would you make this? Like this is yeah, I mean, and it was like, why would you make this movie? And so it turns out that not unlike India, where it's
Bollywood,
crazy nepotism, everything's kind of pre-polished and is put up for the sake of it being made. There's no art, there's nothing at all. It's all, what do you call it? Like when it's pre-approved, everything, like there's nothing says anything anymore, and it's extraordinarily censored in Serbia. So it's like, this movie is the absolute, like, it is a piece to speak out against their government and the way that films are produced in Serbia. That's why they made the film. So then knowing that, going into it, as it's actually a piece that's trying to say something, not making it as brutal and disgusting as they did.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Like you nailed it, guys. You really hit the nail on the head there. That's why it was that way. And then when you take that into account, where it's now like a political piece versus just a smut film, it kind of puts things into a little bit, not a lot, of perspective. But let's get into the film. Like,
sure.
Okay, so it's not short. Like, it's 8 hours and 45 minutes long. And the entire, so the premise of the film, real quick, let's just knock through it. A relatively successful porn star, this guy named Milos, is since retired and is now in his like 50s, with his family, his wife and son, who is kind of a beautiful family structure. His wife is stunningly beautiful.
She is.
And
hi, Marie. Welcome in. This is gonna be fun.
As we live and breathe. And
as we live and breathe.
I'll take it from here, bro. I got this. You're off the hook. Gets an offer that is like, we know you're struggling for money, and you are running out because you're not working anymore, we can give you an offer that will make you so much money that even your son Peter will be wealthy to his death.
Right.
That much money. And he was like, I don't know why you would even want me to do something like this. Like, why would you throw money like that at me? Like, what is it? And the guy's like, I will not tell you what it is. Nobody even cares what a pornographic film is about, but it's going to be art porn. Like, it's new. This is the new thing. And he goes home, kind of sleeps on
Mulls
it, discusses it. Yeah, discusses it with the wife as one does. And he's very much so in that stage of life where he's kind of made a realization that his glory days are over.
Yeah.
And he kind of really looks back on, he didn't love what he did, but he loved like the money that he made from it, being able to support his family. And like there was a certain amount of stardom that he used to have that he senses kind of lost. And he kind of misses sort of that aspect of life. And so the thought of getting back to it isn't the worst thing that he's ever been.
Yeah, it triggers his nostalgia for
yes,
the good old days.
And the entire first hour of this film is basic, you would say, just fairly standard run-of-the-mill porn. Yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like nothing over the top, standard, whatever. He actually kind of has a lovely relationship with his wife.
Yep.
Like he clearly loves his wife very much, loves his son very much. He walks in on his
what
son.
It was that he did. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He finds his movies.
Yes, and he has a kind of a cute discussion with his kid about basically the hormones of like you're watching porn and then you start to get a little
little tinglies.
Yeah, and it has to explain to him, you know, like this is what that is, and you discover this on your own in private. Do it in the bathroom, whatever. And it's kind of cute. You're just like,
take those 45-minute showers.
Yes, and I was like very much so in the entire first hour of this film. I'm like, no, this is actually kind of cute. You know, take it at face value for what it is. Was it not? Like, I loved this entire family dynamic. I loved it. I'm like, it's kind of beautiful. I loved it. And then he's walking around, you know, he's getting the guns loose and meditating, getting ready to go back to the porn life as he's accepted and taking this offer now. And he walks out with his hog out. And I'm like, I remember noting, Sutty-sized hog on this guy. Way to go, man.
Impressive.
I'm like,
good for you, Milos. Good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and that's when everything changed.
Yeah,
it changed for me in that.
A turn.
The first half of this film, I would venture to say as it's not very good, but for what it is a foreign film about pornography, I would say it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
And then it took a hard left turn.
It wasn't good, but it was pretty good.
You know, all things considered, not good, not great.
Yeah.
And then it went to hell.
Hard left turn.
Really fast.
As they started shooting. So if they started shooting at an orphanage. And Milos has an earpiece where he's getting instructions from the director. I can't remember his name. Doesn't matter.
Really doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it's a V name. A V name.
Something like that. It does. It's Serbian. It does.
And he sees this chick who's getting yelled at for being by her mom for being a prostitute.
Yes.
Somebody else is like blading like a popsicle, and
we later learned that that's her daughter.
Yeah.
You want to guess an age on her?
15? Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right, nailed it. Okay, good. We'll go with it then.
He is then told to get throated by the mom, right? The girl's mom.
Yes.
And he's like, don't want it.
Nope.
And then,
not doing that.
Yep. But then they make him, like they force him to do so.
Like
and,
physically choke or hold him.
Yep.
And they're like, fuck her throat because she was, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Something about she was cheating on her war hero husband. And then
he died. He was dead.
And he's dead at war. And she is like hooking now. And it is, I guess in Serbia, that's a really bad thing to do. And the only punishment that they can see fit is that Milos give her the
oh, what for?
The what have you. And there's gagging for a while. And then as he completes, they are all very excited about it. They're like, hey man, that was art. Now we're yes. And
now we're cooking with gas.
Now we got a film. There we go. So that's the start of his filming. Now at first, like, he's really not into it. Like, Milos isn't a bad guy. Like, we have to kind of over and over and over and over again say he's not a bad dude.
He's just taking this opportunity. He's taking this opportunity for his family, and then he's being walked through this whole thing by the director and the director's security. The director's security physically forces him to do most of this, most of the ensuing shit that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
And
so that was the first run, and then so we can kind of like fast forward.
Yeah.
That he's not super comfortable with it. Next up, he's got to do her again, and they want him to start hitting her, and then he's like, I'm gonna fucking quit, and then he winds up doing it again, and then is like, I'm done, over it. I wish you would have told me what this was sooner, so that I could have quit sooner.
Yeah.
And
so we weren't wasting everybody's time.
Yes. Yeah. He was like, I'm not going to do this at all. So then he's driving home and then starts to lose his fucking mind. Like, just like over the top, like this chick that's driving him home. He's getting like the crazy eyes and is now like,
oh no, you skipped over a big part.
How much did I miss though? Oh, it was the
thing that made him the thing that made him storm off.
Okay, so newborn porn.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Don't worry. I'll take this one. So
please do.
He's telling the guy that he doesn't want to do this film, and he's like, it goes on about something about victims that I don't understand, like that he in reality is the only non-victim in this film. And it's like, let me just show you what we're working with here. And this shows him a different piece. So it's now cut to a pregnant woman on a table where his driver is now, who really, really leans in on those Oakley Bascom sunglasses real hard. Like, those are more than a part. Like, my persona is the beard. His is these fucking sunglasses that aren't that cool. But... And I'm guessing in Serbia, probably also not real. But anyway, this guy is delivering this baby, and you can see it crowning. Like, they don't shy away. Clearly, this all isn't real. I mean, you've seen a baby come out. Yeah. Like, that's not really very good. But, they tried their best. And with the special effects budget that they had, which I'm assuming probably wasn't that much because they spent it all on renting BMWs and... beautiful homes. Did you notice the homes in these?
Yeah,
they're like, holy shit! Like, these houses are beautiful. Their Airbnb budget was through the roof, and probably 90% of their film. The other 5% was the BMW rental, and then the other 5% was the wages to the staff and catering. But
they had $307 for special effects.
Yeah, it was basically what would even it look like? A giant latex blob of an infant that the driver now takes off his whitey tighties to fornicate, and then the guy filming it is very excited as he proclaims newborn porn.
Oh, it was
And
awful. Like the worst
Milos,
bit of this. Yeah.
This was probably the worst moment of the film, where it's basically a man assaulting a infant, and the mother is more than a little excited about it, and very proud mom. So good for her. And that's where it was. You're like realize like, okay, we're in it now. Like this is where this is what people are talking about. They're in the what appears to be a baby, and so he sees this, gets very upset, and is like, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah.
And then on the way out, that's when he goes crazy. And then is like all about molesting this doctor driver who has incredible cleavage, and he wants to touch that a lot. And then they bring him back, and then I'm trying to figure out, there's a scene where we're tiptoeing around. There's a necrophilia scene coming up here real soon, but I don't remember if it's because he wakes up and then goes back to where he is, because he's now trying to relive. He loses his mind and then wakes up. He loses
his mind, wakes up. He loses his mind
time has passed.
After the whole doctor thing. He wakes up and he is not sure what happened.
And it's like days later.
Yeah. And he goes to the set, the original set, and it's abandoned at this point, and there are a lot of tapes. So he starts looking at the tapes, and then he realizes that he was apparently like drugged or
something. He was drugged with a bull Viagra, which makes him insane and unstoppable when his hunger arises.
Yeah.
And nothing will stop him, no matter what.
So the director, having knowingly done this, is doing his job as a director and telling him what he needs to do.
Yes.
So the mother that we were talking about before, he beats her mercilessly.
Yes.
And then and rapes her, and then decapitates her.
He's given a machete. He cuts her head off after a couple of chops, but does not stop. He's just having at it.
He's going at it, and after that, he's just in like this like fugue state. He's just staring, like it's a thousand yard stare, and then
1,000 dick stare.
And then Milos is just railed by the director's security team.
Yeah, he gets put down to rest for his next scene, and then is completely unconscious. And then the security team films them, one guy giving it to Milos. Why wouldn't you, I guess, at that point? I mean, there's no rules. Clearly. And and then so Milos isn't really thrilled about that. He's watching it back on the little camera.
No wonder my ass hurts
a lot. And then dude, what even happens after that? So
the lady getting her teeth pulled out.
Yes, this is his. Okay, so preface to this woman is that she is Mila's co-star, who is a porn star veteran, and is very upset with the director because she's the one who basically pulled him into it. And it's like, I referred him to this, and you've turned him into like a drugged out psycho.
Oh yeah, because they used to work together. They used to work together in the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
And turned him into this drugged out psycho, and this isn't porn anymore. This is something different. There were ways that you could have gotten him to do this, and you didn't want to do that, and now the way that you're doing it, I'm out too. So she's gonna quit, and he winds up capturing her, putting her into a dungeon, ripping out all of her teeth, and then forcing her to perform fellatio upon some guy that we don't know who he is yet. And he then chokes her with his wang and then snuffs out her nose so she can't breathe, and then basically orals her to death. Because she can't bite him because she has no teeth. And then she's dead now. So there was that. And you're like, well, see you later. And then so then we're approaching the end. And you might just be thinking, bloody Sutty, how could this really get any worse?
Oh, don't you worry.
Don't worry. It does.
It does.
It gets a lot worse. So, again, one of my favorite things about this film was the family dynamic in the very beginning. A beautiful relationship between a husband, a wife, and a son. And so how could we fucking ruin that? They have an answer. So at the very last scene, drugged out psychopath is Milos is now brought into a room of a we're shooting from home today, and there is 2 butts on the ground, and he is kind of just pushed over there to handle that, and he starts going to town on one, and he seems to be enjoying himself very much, but he's very curious about the butt to his left, so he stops and starts, pile driving that butt for a little while. And then they really, a lot of great footage going on. The director's losing his collective marbles. Like, this is yes, Milos, yes, this is porn, this is art, yes, film, just losing his mind. And then another gentleman who was the throat murderer comes back with his mask on. He is masked. And comes in and starts working on the other butt that Milos was originally working on. And the director then demasks him. And it is Milos's brother from the beginning of the film who had a thing for his wife. That was now doing the butt to his right, and we know he has a thing for his wife because in the first hour he was talking to her and he had to stop talking to her to go to the bathroom to masturbate violently for a little while. So that was nice. It was really sweet. And so now they're doing the butts, and he takes the sheets off their heads so you can see who they're boning, and the guy's boning his Milos's wife, and he's boning his own son, who's 8-ish. And
he's 6.
6-year-old son. There you go. So awesome. He gets kind of loses his collective shit. Milos gets upset about this, of course, because he loves his son. Not like that though. And then proceeds to kill everyone. And notably, a couple of things happen. So the wife comes to, and then kind of wiggles away from Brother Bear here, and then smashes his head with a statue.
Yeah, it was like a bust.
Ornamental.
Yeah.
Crushes his head, so that was fun. And then Milos starts to attack the director, who then has his security team come in, which he then wrestles a gun away from one of them, because of course they're armed, and then shoots the shit out of all of them. And then the driver / Oakley sunglasses guy,
he only has one eye, by the way. Which is
comes
important.
running. He's eye patch. He pulls his sunglasses off, and he's got like this. He's got the one eye thing going. So Milos takes his dick and shoves it through his eye hole.
Because remember, he's still feeling the effects of the bull Viagra.
Yes.
So he shoves his dick into his eye socket.
Skull fucks him to death. Literally. And then the wife is upset because of all of this. as one would be.
Yeah.
And
the director is, as he's dying, he's like,
that's
the way to be. Yes.
That's Milos.
That is the way to be.
And so he's now dead because he had his head smashed into the concrete of this warehouse that they were filming in. And rightfully so. I think he was probably a bad guy.
Yeah.
And
wasn't above board.
No. Milos, though, is starting to come back.
Several OSHA violations in this.
Yeah,
filming.
it was not okay. And so he goes home because Milos is just kind of walking into like where this all happened and is now kind of realizing, holy shit, like this is what happened. Like as he enters these places, his memories come back. He remembers everything that's happened, so he goes home to his wife and kid, who are still there,
traumatized.
and quite a bit, quite a bit traumatized. So they kind of like just progress through the day, and wind up going to bed, and they got like Milos has tried to off himself a couple of times that throughout that afternoon. You know, a glass of OJ and a Glock to the dome, and but no success because he forgets to load the gun, evidently. I don't know how he can screw this up, or maybe misplace the safety. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not really sure what the problem was there, but he struggled with it.
Yeah.
He does eventually kind of make peace with his wife. They seemingly understand each other and what needs to take place.
Yeah.
So they go to bed with their child between the two of them and realize that there is irreparable damage has been done.
Yeah.
And the only thing to do moving forward is for them all to suicide in the bed. I mean, I would have maybe gone family therapy first and see how that spins through, but not them.
It's Serbia. It's Serbia. Do you understand? That's expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. Does Serbia have universal healthcare?
No.
Let's find out.
Apparently not.
We're gonna make sure.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. The internet lies, but we don't. Does Serbia have universal healthcare? Yes, it does.
Oh, wow.
So they could have had that paid for by the government, which is why they pay so much in taxes, and yet they opted out. And instead, Milos they're laying in the bed. They'll kind of paint a picture for you. And Milos has his arm around Peter, the son, and his wife, who is all fucked up still, but still stunningly beautiful. And then you kind of pan back a little bit, and he's got his gun now to her back, pointing in so that he's going to shoot both his wife, his son, and himself, all with one clean shot somehow. Quite the marksman, this Milos. And they pan to outside of their house, which is, of course, beautiful. And then you hear the shot ring out. And kind of the end of the movie, really.
Well, almost.
Like these people come.
He
sees that we're like from the beginning.
That were part of the original crew. And they come in. And they come into the bedroom, and there's the three bodies there, and then one of the crew members unzips his fly, and the director says, "Start with the little one," and that's how we end the movie.
Oh, I missed that whole scene.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, yep. That's on an uplifting end, you know.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awful film.
Okay, so we can go ahead and say that this was. It earned its stripes on this one. Like, this was easily a horrifically awful movie.
Yeah. It was horrifically terrible. Yao, thank you for that follow, man. Interesting way to enter the stream, but
I don't think you're allowed to say enter today, like at all.
He says,
let me ask you this. We've seen it now.
Yeah.
We can say we've seen it.
And I've been putting off seeing this movie for several years. Like,
I've known about this movie.
I've known about this movie for all.
Oh yeah. No, I've been well aware of the movie since it was released in 2010. But I had never had the means to see it until now. Well, I mean, yeah, thanks, man. When we decided we were going to watch this for the segment, there was a lot of eye rolling and a lot of sighing, a lot of like, I don't want to watch this film. That being said, now that we've seen it, it's a terrible movie.
Right.
But was it a bad movie?
Objectively?
I mean, like, aside from cinema
content.
Well, here's taking it into perspective of what they were trying to do, and in the perspective of
having not known that it was basically a protest to the censorship of
Serbian
the
films.
way Serbian films work. No, it accomplished its goal,
No, they nailed it.
Yeah, get in there. But John, it's called A Serbian Film. Like, that's just the name of it. A Serbian Film.
Don't watch the movie.
Don't do it. I don't wish this on anybody.
I saw a review for it, and when I was reading, and it was like, no one wants to see this movie. They just think they do. Like,
I knew
basically,
I didn't want to see this movie, and
morbid curiosity is really the only reason anybody would ever watch this outside of reviewing it for a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, outside of that,
and then you regret it. You regret it. Like, your morbid curiosity gets the better of you, and then you're like, oh, why did I do that? Why? It's it's rough, man. So was it a bad film objectively? It accomplished its goal, and if you're looking at it as just a political protest against the censorship of the Serbian film industry, then no, it's not, because it accomplished its goal. But if you're looking at it objectively as a normal person viewing a film, all of it, like top to bottom, it's like, fuck me. Like, it's like you said earlier, it's over the top for the sake of being over the top and disgusting and awful, and just the worst things that could ever be done were done in this movie, and it's not good. Like, it's just bad. So yes and no. Like, yes, it's a bad film because it's a bad film, but no, it's not a bad film because it achieved its goal of, as a protest. But yeah, it was it's tough it's a tough one to get through. It's banned actually in several countries. Like, you can't.
Serbia being one of them. So a couple of things on this one. Rotten Tomatoes has this. Do you want to take a stab at Rotten Tomatoes score? Because it's got one.
19%.
No.
Is it good?
Better than a lot. A lot.
Really?
47%. It's almost fresh.
That's impressive.
I think.
Silly. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, and kind of like everything you said is right. Like, this is a disgusting movie. Right. A couple of reasons why is acting surprisingly good.
It was.
That's why it's so bad, is because it's mildly believable. Where you're like, the whole time, even knowing that this isn't real. Like, this is not real.
You're uncomfortable watching it, as you should be. Like, you should be.
As one should be. Yes.
If you're watching this, like, there's something fucking wrong with you. But.
And here's another thing is that they made all these characters extraordinarily, like, you still relate to them. And that's why you get upset at the end of the movie, where you're like, it's because you really like the wife, you really like Milos, you really like the kid. Like, these are all characters that you bond with early in the film because of the way that family structure
and it's deliberately set up that way so that the ending is a punch in the fucking gut.
It nonstop. Well, it's almost like you could set your watch to it. Like, the first hour is it's an okay movie. It's almost it's just a movie about the pornography industry. Like, it's what you would expect, like, as one does. And like, you had seen raunchier things in, like, some of the Netflix series is about, like, people, like, getting out of the porn industry and stuff like that. Like Hot Girls Wanted and stuff like that. Like, it's all whatever. So you see this movie, and my point being, what I'm getting at is, I actually think this is a good film. I think it's disgusting, awful, and no one should ever see it. You don't want to see this film. You absolutely don't. But having seen it, I think this is one of, like, the legitimately saddest movies I've ever seen. And
it's tragic. It's fucking tragic.
Like, and I don't think it's bad. I think that I've seen far worse. Well, I think the best way to explain it is the way that I said it to you while I was driving to the post office and voice to text was, while this was the worst movie I've ever seen, it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it's
better than
something.
Gummo.
Yes, significantly better than Gummo. It had something to say, and it said it.
It was done well. Like,
I don't want to heap praise on it because it's disgusting. This film is disgusting.
Don't ever watch it.
It really is. Don't see it. There's no reason to. It's like watching a beheading video. Like, you get nothing from this.
Yeah.
Like, a beheading video would be better, because maybe you go join the army. But this is disgusting.
It's real rough.
I give it a 6 out of 10. Like,
I can see that.
I've seen
that's fair. That's fair, but it's like, it's the imagery and all the shit in it for me is where it was like, like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to fucking get through.
It's not an easy watch, and it wasn't intended to be either. It's on the nose. Like, it knew what it was doing.
Hit it out of the fucking park with what they were trying to do. John says it reminds me of the German movie Silly Games, which is about a serial killer, Beavis and Butthead murder porning, which was made as an objection to violence in media, and it's pretty unwatchable for me. Yeah, right on par with that. They made an English version of that too, which is, I think, like, seen, like, shot for shot, it was like the same, if I remember right.
I think it was too, like, if you take this to the disturbing movie iceberg, the reason why it's like third level up is that this is still a movie. Like, there's characters, there's a plot, there's a story arc, like, there's stuff happens, beginning, a middle, and an end. August, what's the next one?
August
that we
Underground.
talked about is torture porn. Like, it's not. There is no movie here. It's just outlandish shit for the sake of being outlandish.
Yeah.
Sutty, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you don't have to watch that one. I'll go ahead and watch it. And
I haven't. So I mean, if you're gonna do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week and keep this ball rolling. Because why not? I haven't cried yet, and and wondered why I am the way I am. But
But yeah, so yeah, Serbian Film. Don't watch it. Just don't do it.
It's the worst movie ever made, and I say movie in the sense that it is something with a plot.
So I've seen other movies that are like equally as disturbing, and on that disturbing movie iceberg that you sent me. One of them I watched recently, and it's called The House That Jack Built.
Never saw that one.
I watched it, and it has what's his name? American actor. What's his fucking name? He's in Wild Things. How's that?
Matt Dillon?
2018? Yeah, Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
And Uma Thurman is in there. And Matt Dillon is an architect who is also a serial killer. And he kills lots of people, including children, and then hoards them in a freezer. So he is a serial killer, but it's also loosely based off of the Divine Comedy, in that he is going through like several layers of hell, and speaks with Virgil, who he calls Verge, and is going through like the layers of hell.
Do you want to add this to the list?
I mean, you can if you want. It's not a good movie. Here's the thing: there are bits of it that I laughed at. There are parts that are like genuinely funny. Like there's a point where he stores a body in his car, and it falls out of the bed of the truck or something like that. It's been a minute since I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's dragging across the street, so it's just leading this blood trail back to his house. Like, perfect. And it's like several miles, and he gets home and he's like, oh shit, because it's literally like, hey, here I am, I can just follow the trail, and then it rains. He's like, oh, thank God. Like, yeah, he is just a sense of relief that it's he definitely kills children, and he forces a smile on one of the kids' faces as he's in the freezer, and it like doesn't like avert away from the kid's face. Like it shows this frozen kid, definitely dead, with a big ass smile on his face. I watched that with Marie, and she's like, I don't like this, like, at all. I was like, she's normal. Yeah, she is normal. And she's like, I can't watch this anymore. I was like, well, I'm gonna finish it because I started it, and that's my thing. Is like, if I start a movie, I gotta finish it.
Well, start what you can't finish.
Yep. So I finished it, and it was like, well, that wasn't good.
No, it was not.
But anyway, Disturbing Suburbia. There it was. But yeah, you ready? Let's move on.
Do a little this week in dumb. Let's rinse the filth off of us with people's stupidity.
Can we please?
Yes. Let's get straight to it. Let's go straight to Tokyo.
All right.
Do you like ironic news stories? God knows I sure do.
I know I do.
Tokyo, Japan official government employee to get compensation for harassment by anti-harassment official. Harassed by the guy who's like, don't harass, but I'm gonna do it. What's up? I harassed you. Former labor ministry employee who developed depression from power harassment inflicted by a superior serving as a power harassment consulting official has been awarded compensation. The employee, aged 29 at the time, reportedly endured repeated verbal attacks and abuse, including the being told to go die. The Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare intends to formally punish the superior in the near future. That motherfucker's going to get caned. You know it, too.
Mm-hmm.
According to the man in April 2017, he was appointed as a director general in charge of formulating and appraising policy, among other duties. Soon after taking up the post, the head of power harassment consultation staff, the body of workers dispatched to each of the ministry's bureaus to prevent power harassment, reportedly said to him, perhaps I could beat you up. After that, the same superior said abusive things like, If I told you to die, would you die? And apparently shouted at him in front of other colleagues and ignored him, among other acts. The man who had months where he worked 130 hours or more in overtime complained of overwork and power harassment via an external reporting counter, occupational physician, and other avenues. There was no improvement in his working environment. He took a leave of absence in December 2018. He was diagnosed with anxiety disorder and depression, but he was still unable to return to work and left his position in March 2020. So yeah, that guy's gonna get caned and he's gonna get some money out of that. Way to go, man. Get your yen, playa.
Get in there with your bloody feet. So we're going down south to Arkansas. Not Florida man this time. You ready?
Sure.
Forest City, a manhunt for a suspected killer led officials to an Arkansas chimney on Friday, the 23rd. 36-year-old Elliot Stewart had been charged with first-degree murder after what WHBQ called a love-fueled stabbing had left 28-year-old Jimmy Rogers dead. Officers with the Forest City Police Department responding to a report of a stabbing stated they saw a man later identified as Stewart running from an Albert Street home and discovered Rogers inside that home with multiple stab wounds. Rogers, identified by police as a boyfriend of the woman who owned the house, died on the scene. Stewart was identified as her husband. So, love triangle. Classic love triangle. Meanwhile, officers began scouring the neighborhood for Stewart and received a call that an individual unknown to a homeowner on a neighboring street was stuck in a chimney. The police department stated via social media the homeowner stated he did not know the individual in his chimney and allowed officers inside the residence to investigate. Stewart's identity was confirmed.
Fucking Santa! He's bringing presents and shit.
He had to be extricated from the structure by members of the Forest City Fire Department. He was then transported to area hospital where he was treated for injuries before his arrest. So
was
this
he upside
motherfucker
down or like feet first?
He was upside down. This motherfucker was. Oh yeah. He was stabbed. Some dude hurt his wife's boyfriend to death, and then ran away, hid in a chimney, fell, got stuck, and
you can't. I think the Tale of Santa Claus leaves people to believe that you can fit down a chimney.
You can't.
That shit's like this. Like, it's not very big. It's really small. People at home, listen. Don't go down your chimney. You'll die. Here's another thing too that people don't realize is when you're inverted like that, all that blood goes to your chest and head, maybe your hands if you're like this,
and you'll die.
Which then puts pressure on your lungs, which
You'll
then
suffocate.
Makes it harder for you to breathe. Yeah,
you'll suffocate. I've seen. Do you remember that old show, 1,000 Ways to Die? Yes. Do you remember that? There was a guy who was trying to steal somebody's car and broke into his garage, tried to Mission Impossible it, and was stuck inverted. He died.
Yeah, he did.
Because the guy left for the week, and this guy got stuck upside down and was just hanging by his ankles from the roof of this garage.
Yeah,
and he was dead. Yeah, he died.
Being upside down for a really long time sucks. Here's a fun thing: everybody go lay down in your bed and then let your head dangle off the end, and just stay like that for a minute, and then realize when you're like, "Oh, my head feels weird." That's it filling up with blood. Now do it completely upside down for hours, and you'll die.
Yep, sucks.
Also
but
sucks.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't die. Don't die.
This is a what not to do story. Usually.
Thanks, Arkansas.
As such this segment is.
Thanks, Arkansas.
Bro, do you know what an atomic wedgie is?
I do.
Are you going to answer with
lethal?
Because in this story, it sure was. Okay, so full disclosure, this wasn't this week. This was in 2015, but I found the story this week, so it counts. Oklahoma man pleads guilty in atomic wedgie death. An Oklahoma man has pleaded guilty to manslaughter for killing his stepfather with an atomic wedgie pulling the man's own underwear up over his head, causing him to suffocate. At a hearing Wednesday, he told the judge, "Things just got out of hand." On Monday, Bradley Davis, age 34, pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter ahead of a jury trial set for next week. At a mitigation hearing on Wednesday, he described the incident to a judge who was trying to determine his punishment. Days before Christmas in 2013, in his mother's trailer in McLeod, about 30 miles from Oklahoma City, of course, Davis got into a fight with his stepfather, age 58. His name was Denver Lee St. Clair. And St. Clair came at him. He says, "I was defending myself with all I had." He said, "I was panicked, mad, scared," he said. "It was like a bad dream. Things got out of hand." Davis admitted he knocked his stepfather unconscious, and while he was passed out, Davis pulled his blue underwear and stretched it over the head from behind.
I love that they included the color.
Yes, I needed to know. He said he wanted his stepfather to be embarrassed when he came to. He said, "I never had any intention of killing the man," he told the judge. "There's no way I ever thought it could have happened." The medical examiner said that St. Clair died from blunt force trauma to his head and asphyxiation. The underwear's elastic band had slipped and went around his neck and cut off his air supply. So I'd never seen anything like this before, but when we first looked at our victim, seeing the waistband and his underwear was around his neck, the Pottawatomie County Sheriff Mike Booth told the Oklahoman, "Can you imagine like that rolling into your morgue and you'd have been like, I've seen some shit. This is a first."
It's like, God damn it. Just pull out the bourbon now. This is going to be a long day.
Yeah, this is going to be one that I'm sad that I can't tell my family about. There was never any intent to kill him that way. I don't think it was even foreseeable, he told the Oklahoman. When he was interviewed that night, he said, "Man, I did a horrible thing when I gave him that wedgie. He didn't even really know the guy died. He was just tired of taking it. He'd been bullied his whole life by this guy." Davis's sentencing is set for July 16th. Prosecutors are seeking a 35-year prison term. And you know what? Time has passed.
Blunt force trauma. So he pulled his robin's egg blue underwear over his head, and then was just like, "Who's the failure now?" Quack, quack, quack. Like punching him, like donkey punching him, you know. And then,
all right. Follow-up story, because we so rarely get these. He was actually sentenced to 30 years in prison.
All right, well, there you go.
Oh, he's a big dude. An Oklahoman was sentenced late on Thursday to 30 years in prison for asphyxiating his stepfather with an atomic wedgie in December of 2013. Brad Lee Davis, now 35, looks like it took a whole year to get sentenced.
Sounds about right.
Looks like he was rejected his plea for a second chance. Davis said he knocked down his stepfather and pulled the elastic band of his underwear over his head and around his neck. This left ligature marks on the victim, according to police. The medical examiner stated the cause of death was actually blunt force trauma and then asphyxiation.
Yeah, and then fecal matter in his nose hairs.
Yes.
Fucking gross.
I'm surprised he got 30 years.
Are you?
Yeah.
What do we get for crop dust in my room, old man?
You know, it was an accident.
Was it though?
Happen.
Was it?
We'll never know.
Just grab that Calvin Klein fucking waistband. One thing led to another. Here we are. The rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah. Are you ready for
Bro, I'm so ready.
Cool, man. So, you know whose birthday just passed this week?
Nope.
Gary fucking Oldman.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Busey.
No, not Gary Busey.
Really excited, but I'm actually more excited for Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. Yes, sir. He just turned 63 years old. So this week we are having a Gary Oldman themed Rotten Tomatoes game.
Oh, I fucking love that. I love Gary Oldman.
Who doesn't like it? You know who doesn't like Gary Oldman? Bad people and terrorists. That's it.
Yeah, that sums it up.
So just think about it. If you're like, I don't like Gary Oldman, and then you're like, well, I'm not a terrorist.
Means you're
a bad person.
Let's just get straight to it, shall we?
Yeah, please.
Let's just jump into it. Your first film. Communist radicals hijack Air Force One with the U.S. president and his family on board. The vice president negotiates from Washington, D.C., while the president, a veteran, fights to rescue the hostages on board. This one was directed by Wolfgang Peterson, starring Harrison Ford, Gary Oldman, and Glenn Close from 1997. Air Force One.
Get off my plane.
The best line in music or movie history. It was made that day.
Get off my plane.
He did get off too.
He did. Fuck, this had star power. When did it come out again?
1997. Harrison Ford, like at his peak.
It was at his peak.
Clear and present danger. Yeah. Executive decision.
Fugitive. The Fugitive.
Yeah. All of that. So he's on the tail end of that run.
I didn't kill my wife.
I want my family back.
And Gary Oldman, who played his wife? Who played the first lady?
I don't remember.
And the daughter.
I can look it up.
He had a daughter.
I'm happy to look all this up for you. This is all pertinent information.
Please do. I don't want to look. I don't want to.
Of course. Come on, internets, catch up to me here. I pay enough for you.
I want to say it was like, what's her name? Connie Nielsen? I could be wrong though.
Wendy Crewson.
Way off. Okay. But Gary Oldman playing a Russian, which is perfect. That accent too. He had a solid fucking Russian accent.
You would have thought he was actually from Russia.
I'm gonna say it was an action movie. Harrison Ford in an action movie. I'm gonna say it was fresh, but not super fresh. I'm gonna say like 71%.
Hey man, great guess. This one was certified fresh at 78%. You're gonna gain 7 on that one.
All right, I'll take it.
A couple of fun facts on this film. Harrison Ford and Gary Oldman are actually hitting each other during the fight scenes. That shit's real. They kicked each other's ass. The lead role was actually written for Kevin Costner, but he was heavily committed to The Postman, which was a terrible decision, and
that was awful.
Actually suggested Harrison Ford for the part. So thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you on that one.
Yep.
And then President Bill Clinton, who was the real U.S. president at the time of the film's release, loved and enjoyed the film so much they actually saw it twice while in office and praised it, giving it a good review. And as he pointed out, however, the real plane doesn't have an actual parachute ramp or escape pods like the aircraft in the movie. In response, director Wolfgang Peterson said, "Not yet, it doesn't."
Or does it?
All right, man. Off to a great start. Ready for next film?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Going all over the board on this one. Let's revisit childhood. Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione return to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry for their 3rd year of study, where they delve in the mystery surrounding an escaped prisoner who poses a dangerous threat to the young wizard. This one's directed by Alfonso Cuarón, starring Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and of course Gary Oldman from 2004. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Sirius Black.
Great.
I actually...
Did you like Harry Potter?
I hadn't seen them until probably 3 years ago. Marie and I just binge watched all of them.
All of them? Yeah.
Yeah, like all of them at once. They're not bad. I mean, they're okay.
They're kind of fun, right?
Yeah, they're a good time.
Movies, but
yeah.
I kind of like the magic. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I think it is fun, dude. I remember back when the Wii was brand new. I remember going into like a GameStop and there was a Harry Potter game.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that.
Yeah,
at a
and
Best
it was
Buy.
like Yeah, and you had to fucking get the wrist action right to cast spells. So I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of fun. But
Lego Harry Potter was a good game too.
I believe that all the Lego games are a good time.
Yeah, Lego, they're always good.
But so Harry Potter, I feel, does well. Like all of them, I think are received pretty well. They're very popular. They are so popular, in fact, that they made like 7 of them. I don't know,
maybe even more.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is certified fresh, 87%.
Hey man, that's another great guess. This one is certified fresh at 90%.
Oh God, so close.
You're right on it. Hey man, you're having a great game. Couple of things on this one. You know why we would make really bad Sunday school teachers?
Why? I mean,
say a lot of bad words.
Yes,
primarily, and the whole thing that we're not really into it. But a clause in the director Alfonso Cuarón's contract forbade him from using cursing in front of the kids on set. Evidently, he's got a foul mouth.
Really?
Yes, and director Alfonso Cuarón had never read any of the Harry Potter novels, nor had they seen the first 2 movies. When he was offered the job of director, it was Guillermo del Toro who convinced him, saying, "Don't be stupid, read them already." And aware of his fondness, hey, you know who's a fucking gentleman?
Who?
Gary fucking Oldman, bro. Aware of his fondness for music, Gary Oldman presented Daniel Radcliffe with a bass guitar as a gift for when they first met.
That's cool.
He was like, "Well, hello there, Daniel. Enjoy this, because I got it for you."
Is that how he said it?
You can slap it. Yeah, because he's like from across the pond. I don't know.
Is he really? No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not. Gary Oldman's American. He's American.
Says who?
Me?
His last name's Oldman. He's got to be from somewhere else.
No,
yeah, he's an English movie star.
Are you fucking kidding me?
He's from London.
No, he's not. You're kidding me right now.
He's from New Cross, London. Born in 1958.
No shit.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
What?
Take your time.
English?
Drink it in. Well, yeah, he's English. And he likes to do drawings.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you for a minute. No,
but
fucking really shit. I did not know that.
Yeah, he's a really good actor.
I was convinced he was American.
Nope.
Because even in fucking Harry Potter, he's not English. Where everybody's English, he's not English.
Oh.
What the fuck? I can't think of a role that he's played that he's English.
No.
Can you? I can think of Russian, and I can think whatever the fuck he was in The Fifth Element. Like that was a weird.
No,
that
he
was
like
a weird
Southern
accent.
In that one.
Yeah, and
he was in The Darkest Hour. He played.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he played Winston Churchill.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I can, like, literally the only thing I can think of where he was English. Everything else, like,
so much shit, dude. Like, who knows?
He's so good. I love Gary Oldman.
Dracula?
Anyway, yeah, he was Dracula. So good in it too. God damn it. Love Gary Oldman.
I do too. I'm a huge
fan. The dual man bun. You remember the dual man bun in Dracula?
Dope as shit. I'm gonna do those later.
Me too.
Today.
I'm gonna try it. You almost had it that one time with the Princess Leia, but it was too low. You're close.
Ready for next film?
Yes.
In 2028 Detroit, when Alex Murphy, a loving husband, father, and damn good cop, is critically injured in the line of duty, a multinational conglomerate, Omnicorp, sees their chance for a part man, part robot police officer. This one is directed by Jose Padilla, starring, okay, get ready for this, Joel Kinnaman, Gary Oldman, Michael Keaton, Samuel L. Jackson, Abby Cornish, Jennifer Ale, Jay Baruchel, Amy Garcia, Jackie Earl Haley, and Michael Kenneth Williams from 2014 RoboCop.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like
Star fucking studded, bro.
right, but I was thinking like the original RoboCop. I was like, Gary
K7?
Oldman's
No.
not in RoboCop. Yeah, that
He's
one.
in
Okay.
RoboCop.
So did you see this one?
I fucking own that movie. Are you out of your
Do you?
goddamn mind? Hell yeah, I own that movie.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
I watched it and started it over and watched it again.
Did you really?
Fucking love RoboCop, dude.
I like the original RoboCop with Red from fucking.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I want an SUX. I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that. Exactly. I'd buy that for a fucking $1. I don't know, man. I liked it. I thought it did well. But the thing is, I think critics and everybody compared it to the original too much, or yeah, I think it didn't shine a light to the original with nobody was in the originals. So I'm gonna say this one's rotten, not too terribly rotten. I'm gonna save 51%.
Fuck, man, you're dancing all over it. Stop dancing all over it. You're so close.
Okay.
Just get it right on next time.
Okay.
This one is rotten at 48%. You gained 3.
Ooh,
This is the game that you needed to have.
ooh, man, I
I thought I was gonna throw you off with all the
star-studded,
star
yeah.
power that it had. I mean, anything with Amy Garcia in it, I'm a huge fucking fan.
Amy Garcia.
But,
Who the fuck is Amy Garcia?
Amy Garcia she was in Lucifer. Did you watch Lucifer, the show?
A little bit.
She was in RoboCop. She was
Obviously.
in
Fun facts.
in Raymond Sellers, Michael Keaton's office, in a display case is a suit reminiscent of the original RoboCop from 1987.
Yes.
And also, okay, so this film, I really liked it. This film's kind of a piece of shit. No one's really argues that.
I liked it.
During the production of the film, Jose Padilla phoned a friend, fellow Brazilian actor, director Fernando Morales, to confide in him his frustration of lack of creative control that he was allowed by the studio for the project. Padilla estimated that for every 10 ideas he brought to the project, the studio refused 9 and went on to describe the making of the film as the worst experience of his life. When the word of this conversation became public and apparent to appease the studio, Padilla had to release a counter statement expressing complete satisfaction with the film. So basically, it was a tale as old as time. They have a great idea for a movie, and a studio shits all over it, won't let it happen. This was intended to be a rated R film, hard R, similar to the original. And because the budget got so inflated, it went from a $60 million movie to $100 million.
Wow.
They forced the film to have a PG-13 rating to hopefully,
audience.
yes, a broader audience,
Yeah.
which caused the film to be terrible. So that sucks.
Yeah.
Studio
that does
ruined
suck.
it.
As
Could
they
have been
do.
awesome. Did you notice that the guy Joel Kinnaman was the guy from Altered Carbon, the season 1?
Yeah, it's also from there's a what the fuck is this show? The Netflix show that he's in.
It is The Killing.
The Killing. Very good show.
Yeah, it was great.
You know
He
what I
played
didn't
the,
get into? The second season of Altered Carbon. Couldn't get into it. The one with the guy that plays the Falcon. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was hard because it wasn't the same guy. You're
Yeah.
like, what's happening here? There's a
Like-
story there that I would love to know.
Yeah.
Like, why did they not get the original guy to do it?
Like the thing is, it's slated perfectly for it because it's just skin. You know, it's
Yeah.
just
If you're ever
body-
going to pull that off,
mind
that's the show to
implanted
do
in the
it.
skin. Solid. Good job doing that. But it was like in my brain
It's
because
jarring.
the thing is, the original guy, like that Joel Kinnaman plays, Asian.
Yeah.
He's an Asian dude.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
in this white guy's body.
Yeah.
And then they get planted into what's his face's body, who is from like 8 Mile. That's where I know him from. It's from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. I tried 3 times. I fell asleep every time, and I'm like, no, I give up.
3 times a lady.
Mm-hmm. Once, twice, 3 times a lady.
All right, we have 2 more movies to get through. You ready?
Yes.
Next film?
Yep.
All right. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen this one, but if you have, good on you. A young woman fights the spirit that is slowly taking possession of her. This one is written and directed by David Goyer, starring Adette Anabel and Gary Oldman from 2009, The Unborn.
No.
She was also known as Adette Yestman, but she got married and actually took her husband's last name after she was already famous. So it was weird that she has 2 names. Yeah. But when you see her, you realize that she was the love interest from the guy in Cloverfield. Super hot. Where you're like,
okay.
Oh, I love you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Unborn,
like, I would absolutely abandon my family to have a night with her. Forever.
Tell me about The Unborn a little bit.
A better way to say it is she's being possessed by the twin brother that was never born, and like is coming into her eyes.
Like that gift that I sent you earlier.
Kinda. Well.
The best foods mayonnaise.
Yeah. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, I have no idea about this movie. I have not seen this.
Use that to your advantage.
Based off the premise, though, I'm going to say that it is rotten. It doesn't sound great. I'm going to say 46%.
All right. So you're going to gain a few on that one, but it's okay. You can afford it.
Right.
This movie was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it and loved it because I'm in love with that woman, but not a good film. It is rotten, and you're still gaining points at 10%.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Fun facts on this one. Good news. Adette recently divorced her husband of 10 years in 2019. I would marry her in a heartbeat. Outside of that, there is no interesting fun facts about this movie at all. Like Zero, sorry Gary, they can't all be winners.
Okay.
Wrote that down. Ready for your last film?
Yes, please.
Wrap it up, dude. All right, here we go. Senator Elaine Hansen is a contender for U.S. Vice President. For information and disinformation about her past surfaces that threatens to derail her confirmation. This was written and directed by Rod Lurie, starring Joan Allen, Gary Oldman, and Jeff Bridges from 2000. The Contender.
I don't know. I've seen this either.
This was a fairly large movie for the time. It's a political drama.
Sounds like it.
Cheers.
Who else? Jeff Bridges is in it?
Jeff Bridges is in it. Joan Allen's actually really famous too. You know her from such films as The Crucible, Nixon, Room, Death Race, but that was a piece of shit. She was a voice actor in Skyrim. That's kind of neat.
That is cool. So
Born Supremacy. She was in The Notebook. She's a legitimately pretty well-known actress. You would know her if you saw her.
Okay. Not knowing anything about it, but based off of political dramas tend to do pretty well if they have enough backing behind them. They're written well, typically, I guess. Excuse me. I'm gonna say it's fresh. I don't know. So Jeff Bridges and Gary Oldman. That's star power for that point in time. 2000, you said, right?
The woman is as well. Yeah.
Is she?
Joan
Okay.
Allen's very famous. Yes.
Okay.
You would
Okay.
you would know her if you saw her.
Okay.
You're like, okay, that's how you would be.
Okay.
Here's
So
what you
the
know.
star power behind it, and it being released in 2000 at like the peak of their famousness,
This is also
notoriety.
an
Oh, and an election year. Okay. I'm gonna say fresh, like 73%.
73%?
73, yeah.
God damn it, dude. Could you just stop dancing around it and get it right? This one was... You did an excellent job, bro. You took the information that you knew, apply that to the logic that we know. Political dramas do tend to do very well. This one was certified fresh at 76%. You gain another 3.
God damn. Okay. All right. I'll take it. I can afford it.
And
the 3%.
Yeah, no, you did very, very well. So it was a good game.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges said he modeled President Evans after his father, Lloyd Bridges, whom he worshipped and also had recently died in 1998. The idea for the film came from writer-director Rod Lurie, was presenting an award to Joan Allen when he joked that he should write a screenplay just for her so that she could win another one. Allen told him at the awards ceremony that if he did write a screenplay, she'd read it. Spurred by this encouragement, Lurie set to the task, completed the script in just a couple of weeks. Knocked that bitch right out.
That's awesome.
She read it, agreed to do the film, and then based off of her agreement to do the film, Jeff Bridges and Gary Oldman both signed up afterwards.
Dude, I think the next week I'm gonna do Jeff Bridges, because he's been in a lot of shit and he's fantastic. I love Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges movies, I think, all tend to do very well. I think critics like him.
Do they?
Because
have you seen R.I.P.D.?
Yeah, okay. They all have outliers, but like.
Yeah, no, but I think I am. I think I'm gonna do that because I love Jeff Bridges. I love every movie that is in, even if they don't do well. I think that's what I'm going in next week. Happening. All right. What did I get? I think 51. That's my guess. That's what I got.
I think you might be like overly generous on the score here. I think you probably did less than that.
Yeah.
So we got 3 plus 36 plus 3 plus 3.
Really?
You got 3 a lot.
Yeah, apparently.
Plus 7 for a grand total of, God, man, you even guessed that pretty well. 52. A great game, man.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Score to beat for me next week.
I'm happy about it. Oh yeah, we're competing.
Yes.
Do it.
And you just threw up a great game.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Thanks, man.
I knew
I'll
you
do
could
it again. I do it again.
It's not that you try, it's that you succeed. Write that down.
So today we talked about, me dodging death, a Serbian film. Don't watch it. And did some This Week in Dumb, and I crushed Rotten Tomatoes game. Let me know how you guys did down in the comments below. Yeah, but here we are. Here we are at the end again. Thank you guys for coming through, hanging out with us, especially with the tough content that is the Serbian Suburbia. It is meant to be that, in that we are viewing movies and films that are rough to watch. They're the most disturbing ones that are available to the masses. Worst the worst.
I ain't scared of shit. Let's go.
We do that for you, so that you
stay ready. So y'all ain't got to get ready.
We do it so you don't have to. Yeah. Thanks for coming through. We love you endlessly. As always, I am SuttySmash. This is my hetero life, mates.
But yeah, for my new guys, keep it positive.